the 2-year mark of Michael Monkey Vaughan missing today, I ask that everyone stop and have a thought and say a prayer for his family. Especially have a thought for his mother Brandy, who has fought endlessly, who has driven herself crazy. Can you imagine the spot that this sweet, loving mother is in? Can you imagine the thoughts, the feelings she's having, along with the rest of the family? They need our prayers today. I thought that we would read out a little bit of the story of the missing journey that Michael's family has been on. They deserve justice. Michael Monkey Vaughan, he deserves justice. We have to help them fight. We have to be their voice. We have to do it together. Michael Monkey Vaughan was a 5-year-old, blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy that his family called Monkey. Michael vanished on July 27th, 2021 from Fruitland, Idaho. It was like any other day in July when Michael was last seen. Brandy says that her husband Tyler was at home with her children. Michael was on the couch playing his Nintendo. Tyler went to check on Michael's little sister, who they call Buggy, in her bedroom. He ordered a pizza and he came back out to the living room. Michael was gone. Tyler called Brandy, who was at work, and she sped home. She saw police at the park when she pulled into the neighborhood. Brandy said that the neighbors witnessed Michael in his front yard and on the street in the moments before he disappeared, even attempting to talk to the neighbors. Brandy said that that was unusual. He was friendly, but that was unusual. He's wondered a few times, but this doesn't make sense, Brandy said. That night and into the weeks ahead, searches went on. The community began paving their way on foot through the farm fields, through the streets, looking in the bushes, storm drains, checking in trash cans, under tables, in park bathrooms, anywhere that a small child could hide. Michael was last seen wearing a blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue briefs, and blue flip-flops. He was 5 years old at the time of his disappearance. Fruitland Police, the National Guard, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, even other law enforcement agencies united to spread their resources across the rural town of Fruitland. It was originally believed that Michael Monkey Vaughan wandered off, but in November of 2021, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff said during a press conference that there was an increased probability that Michael was abducted. This was because police were making such little headway in their ground searches. Brandy said they brought canine dogs in, which traced Michael's scent to the end of the road. She also said, "I've walked every inch of this town. I've literally worn my feet to the bone." The entire family was called in for a polygraph test, Brandy said, which police kept them all separated. Police showed the family a timeline of Michael's disappearance, which Brandy said she couldn't even believe they were able to put together. Right after the family took polygraphs, a large semi-truck was revealed with Michael's face on it to drive across the U.S., hoping to create more tips to his potential whereabouts. Idaho State Police and the FBI eventually became involved. Every day since then, Brandy says she gets out of bed, she goes to work, takes care of her family, but the grief and struggle of missing Michael Monkey Vaughan, mixed with her anger and frustration, intertwined with having to be a wife and mother, can be too much. Holidays and birthdays have passed. Michael's 6th birthday was on June 24th, 2022. There isn't a second that goes by without Brandy thinking of her baby. Everything seemed to be at a standstill. There wasn't much to update on. But then, during a press conference in the summer of 2022, police finally dropped a small piece of information. They were back in the Fruitland area investigating. There was a potential lead. It came on a brisk day in mid-November of last year. A break in the case. Police arrived at the Vaughan family home that morning. Brandy expected that it was like any other visit that the police paid to the family. But when Brandy saw the chief of police walk in the door, she said that her stomach sank. They spoke calmly when they told her an arrest had been made. Police said to stay inside her home and just hunker down. Police told her that they had received a credible tip that Michael's remains could be in the backyard nearby, and they were going to dig up every single inch of that backyard. Huff later told reporters on scene that they continue to search for Michael's remains, marking the very first time the media learned that Michael Monkey Vaughan may no longer be alive. It was a 2-minute drive from the family home, just diagonal across the farm field that was searched so many times, where Sarah and Stacy Wandra lived. The couple's backyard was being torn apart. Multiple law enforcement agencies surrounded the home at 1102 Red Wing Street with shovels, human remain dogs, and heavy machinery. The dirt was piled into a large truck, where it was driven off-site for evaluation. Brandy said that she sat on the street for hours, watching the truck go by with dirt, come back without it, and then leave again. She wanted so badly to go over there, but Brandy said that she stopped herself. Sarah Wandra, 35 years old, was then arrested on November 11, 2022. She was charged with failure to report a death. Huff previously said in their investigation that they found Sarah Wandra had knowledge of Michael's death, but didn't say anything to law enforcement. Stacy Wandra, her husband, has not been charged in the connection with the disappearance of Michael, but he remains in Washington County Jail on firearm charges. That credible tip came from another person inside the home where the Wandras lived. Brandy said that she had never seen or met the Wandras, but when the search was underway for Michael, she left flyers at their door. Sarah Wandra was later seen on TikTok videos in October of 2021 in front of Michael's missing person flyer that was hanging on the refrigerator door. Sarah Wandra previously told Payette County Judge Brian Lee at her initial appearance hearing that she understood the charges against her, but that it's not correct. Wandra's parents lived directly around the corner, and when the news channels knocked on their door, no one answered. Days went by, and then crews stopped searching. Police said they planned on searching inside the home after they were done digging. No stone was left unturned, but police packed up their shovels and gear, and they headed home. Brandy says that she would like to sit down and have a conversation with Sarah Wandra face to face, that there will be a time. Then came a shocking announcement. Huff let out a breath when he approached his podium on December 1st, 2022 for a press conference to announce the results of the digging of Wandra's backyard. He nodded at the media, who were anxiously awaiting answers. Back at the Vaughan home, Neil was surrounded by her family. Huff announced that Michael's remains were not found in that yard, but he said something else that made listening ears perk up. That police believe Michael Monkey Vaughan's remains were buried there, but they were later moved. Unexpectedly, police announced the identities of 2 more people thought to have first-hand knowledge in the abduction of Michael Monkey Vaughan. Brandon Sertlift, 30, who is believed to be somewhere in North Dakota, and Adrian Lucene, 32. Brandon and Adrian were living in the Wandras' home at the time of Monkey's disappearance. The window of time for cooperation is coming to a close, Huff said. Brandon has a warrant for his arrest in Canyon County, but the charges do not allow for extradition from North Dakota. Adrian has a lengthy criminal record in multiple states. Huff has also announced that their department has made contact with the two men, but didn't elaborate further. However, Huff believes these aren't the only people who have knowledge of what could have happened to Michael Monkey Vaughan. All of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or have hindered our investigation will be pursued, Huff said. More than a month later, on January 26, Fruitland Police provided a slight update on their Facebook page. They wrote police recovered several pieces of evidence at the Wanderer's home. Some of those pieces have been sent to a private DNA lab for further analysis. That process will take time, and we're patiently waiting results. Sarah Wandra was found mentally unfit last year. She was committed to the State Hospital South in Blackfoot on December 6, 2022. The commitment order indicates that she was found unfit to assist in her own defense. Proceedings were then placed on hold. Sarah Wandra's public defender asked for more time in the state hospital in a January hearing. Her 90-day commitment period ends on February 6th, prompting a status hearing that day, and then a preliminary hearing on February 7th. Brandon's mother then speaks out. Where is Brandon? According to his mother, Tina, he's in North Dakota, and she does know his location. We have all been cooperating, but this has outright turned into a total harassment of Brandon and our family. He used to be innocent until proven guilty, but now is guilty without proof. They are even pointing fingers at me and telling me I'm lying and hiding something, Tina says. She claims that she opened her home up to police when they came knocking. I gave them food and water, prayed with them, and allowed them to run their dogs and people through my house and yard. They did find my toilet was leaking, which I'm grateful for. She claims that their cadaver dog smelled the poop outside near her vent and crawl space, which was near her leaking toilet. Public Relations Director Mark Sullivan works for the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, a team that has been very active in the search for Monkey. Sullivan consulted with canine experts on his team who told him that no, cadaver dogs do not alert on human feces. So why did Tina make that up? Sullivan said that he has never heard of a canine dog being trained to find feces. Each dog has a very specific reaction that it does when it does what it's trained to do. The untrained human may not know or recognize when a dog alerts its handler. They came back with 17 cars, dogs, and shovels, and dug where the dog alluded to the following day. They found nothing but my leaking toilet. We have cooperated fully since this all began. Our attorney will probably be calling a press conference for all of this slander. She also says, I know my son's heart. He loves kids, animals, and the elderly. He has such a tender heart. He's always giving all that he has. He would give his last morsel of food or his only shirt. He just always seems to choose the wrong type of people to be friends with. Huff said that he could not elaborate on Tina's comments due to the nature of the investigation. Police said in the December press conference that they had searched a home in Kuna without a warrant, but they didn't elaborate. Law enforcement does not need a warrant if the homeowner lets them inside willingly. Michael Monkey Vaughan's case is different. Angela Hartman, the Director of Communications for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, said their team has worked diligently with the Vaughan family and law enforcement since Michael was reported missing. We try to give this family space, Hartman said, but really it's about letting them know we are here for them if they need anything. Hartman said in her experience this case is different. Our goal is no matter what the prediction is in any case, we want to know that we are here to support the families in any way. You just never know how a case is going to turn out. How is it possible that no one saw what happened to Michael Monkey Vaughan? Hartman said it only takes a second. She stated that in most cases, the child is recovered, whether it be quick or it takes more specific time. More than 90% of missing children are found. If a child is not found in the first 48 hours, it's important to still keep looking. For years, there was a misconception that something bad happened if they weren't found in a certain amount of time. It may or may not be the case here. Stranger abductions are extremely rare, and what happened to Michael is also really rare, Hartman said. Every minute counts, and missing children cases need to be taken seriously. When it does happen, it's shocking. People think it happens a lot more than it really does happen. I think it was silent for most of the day, Hartman said. We're all heartbroken. Now, the family's just waiting for answers. Brandy keeps Michael's bed the same. It's next to his parents' bed, and it's lined with his toys, blankets, and stuffed animals. For a while, Brandy said she could barely do laundry. She would see one of Michael's shirts or socks and just break down. She held up a small shoe. The police have the other one, she said. Brandy stated police also have some of his favorite clothes and his favorite blanket for DNA, she said, putting his shoe back in the closet. Brandy walks back into the living room and points to a table with pictures of Michael resting on the top. She says his sister, known as Buggy, will put the pictures off the table and speak to Michael. She'll get sad, Brandy said. She will say, I miss Monkey. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him, and I will honor him. Guys, I think today we should all pray for Michael's family and spiritually wrap our arms around Brandy and help her find comfort and help be their voice.